Noni here. Welcome back to my channel. You can call me Noni. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm in my studio. This is my daughter's car used to be my studio, but now it's my husband's and my car. This is all I have. I forgot the thing that I set my phone on, and I've got like this sun bullshit happening again because my husband is a weirdo and has to park backwards, and it just irritates me so much. But anyway, hopefully this is a little better. We got cut off yesterday in the middle of all my rants about how shitty my day was. And I do remember talking about, having the shoulder pain and like how many days I've missed off of work or not. And I think I talked about, it was like an upper respiratory infection that came right on the heels of that. And ew, what's happening? No. I don't like this. We're gonna have to fix this, because you know what? Ow. I'm gonna hyper focus on it the entire time. So I'm gonna stick you in this visor, and hopefully it will hold. Ah! Oh my God, what's going on? Why? Oh. Hopefully it will hold you on there long enough so I can fix my hair. But anyway, so what was I saying? Take a shot every time I say what was I saying. You're gonna get drunk as fuck. Okay, what was I saying though, for real? So yeah, I don't know. Look at this. Look at how long my freaking hair is. And this is in a ponytail, and this is it not like brushed out completely. So it's way longer than it even looks in this ponytail. I wonder if I grew it out and just kept growing it, how high my little bun would go, though, like, could I get it to the moon? I don't know. Should we find out? Anyway, so what was I saying? Take a shot. Oh yeah. So I know I talked about my shoulder pain, and then I talked about, right on top of that, then I got a really bad cold, and I was out for like 3 or 4 days from that. It wasn't just a cold. It was like a severe upper respiratory sinus infection. And, but the problem is that when you have a medical event, so that's week 1, I guess, with the shoulder, and you spend the entire week in excruciating pain. Pain is very exhausting, okay? It makes you extremely tired. It's just exhausting. And oh shit, I was gonna leave you there because that actually was working out perfectly, even though it's not. It's kind of not super great. It's like, I know, you're not straight. Okay, fine, I'll hold it. Fine. It's gonna be that way. You don't know what holding anything up like that with my shoulder hurts. So we're gonna go over here, of which I can't see. But then the problem is the very next week I get this horrible like sinus infection thing, and my body's already weakened by the exhaustion from the shoulder pain, right? Like I'm still coming off of that. I have not recovered from that. So keep in mind, I'm not in a normal person's body. I have an autoimmune disease, chronic pain condition. There's several things going on. It's not just an autoimmune disease. I have fibro. I have hypothyroidism. I have the small fiber neuropathy. And when I go through a medical event like I did, where I had to go to the hospital and get shots in my shoulders and all of that, it was, all of that is exhausting. And then to step into week 2, where, you know, right after you get the shots, you are not completely cured. In fact, they can make it worse. And I wouldn't say they made mine worse. Thank you. But they still definitely hurt. And for me, because I had never had these shots before, it caused a lot of mental and emotional stress, because I was like, it didn't make them better. It didn't make them better. It didn't make them better. Oh my God, what am I going to do? Because it sounds so ridiculous to be like, I can't come in because my shoulder hurts. Even though I know that that's not the case. I know that other people are like, where's Heather? Her shoulder hurts. And they're like, what? Yeah, her shoulder hurts. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know. We didn't get into it, but her shoulder hurts. So I know there's a lot of like eye rolling and people not understanding, thinking that I'm lying or that I'm weak or that I'm a baby or that I'm wimpy. I have heard all of that shit my entire life, that I'm a baby and that I'm wimpy and that I just can't handle pain and all of that. But the thing is that I have a better pain tolerance than probably anybody in my house, because they've never felt my pain. And I will go hours and hours and hours and hours and days and days and days being in the most excruciating pain, and I won't go to the hospital, right? So, no, I'm not a wimp. I'm not a wussy. I'm not a pussy. I'm none of those things. But it is frustrating when people think that about you. You know, when you know that not to be true. But anyway, as I was saying, then right on the tail of that is the sickness. Thank you. And that respiratory infection, which, so my body was already weakened, my mind, my soul, everything was already weakened. Like I already was, I'm done. I've had it. Like I really was. I was done. I'd had it. I was like, I can't go through this I can't go through this anymore. I don't want to go through this anymore. I'm sick of it. Like, just take me now. That kind of thing. Like, that's where I was mentally. I'd reached a breaking point. And then I got the sickness. And I was susceptible to it because, one, I was on steroids. And then two, my system is weakened because it was already exhausted from trying to heal itself from the week prior. And so I got sick, which again is fresh. It's like, fuck, they're going to think I'm looking for another job, which is why I provided all of the notes stating like, I'm legit getting, doctor's notices and I'm legit sick. I forgot where I was going with this. Oh. But what's so frustrating is that you have, like, whether you're in an office or not in an office, if you have a chronic illness, it's almost like you're a second-class citizen, like, or a throwaway person. I know for a fact that, because there have been many job opportunities doing the same exact thing that I did for 8 years at the last job that I was at. And I applied for every single one of them because I love that job. That is my favorite job in the whole world. I loved the people. I loved the work. The corporate part of it, the company part of it was like, not so sure, you know. It felt like they were picking away parts of us and selling us off like a house that you flip or whatever, you know. But I was determined to stick it through until the very end, and I did. And I'm glad I did. I don't regret that. And I really thought that that would win me some points in getting back once all of this craziness improved. And I knew it would. Like, things don't just stay shitty, right? Like, it's an ebb and a flow. It's a pendulum. It's a whatever you want to call it. It's a roller coaster. Like, you're gonna have shit days. You're gonna have good days. So, as I predicted, several positions, and I mean several, like 4 or 5 opened up in my department. Ones that I would be way overqualified for because they were my exact same job. I would be way more qualified than any other candidate they would bring in. And yet, time after time after time, when I would apply, they would not call me. I confirmed with the recruiters that they received everything. And I know it's my old manager that's blackballing me. When I left, I didn't leave. I was let go because of, you know, money and shit that happens at companies, which is fine. I left amicably. I left, you know, they called me because I was working from home, and they were like, hey, this is what's happening. And I was like, okay, I totally understand. I didn't freak out. I didn't yell. I didn't burn any bridges because I know better. Like, you don't go burning bridges because you never know who is going to be your next boss or working at your next company, or hold on, there's somebody behind me. It's me, baby. Oh, it's me, baby. It's my baby. Hi, where are you going?
Why are you doing this to me?
Where are you going? I'm not showing you this time. What are you doing? Where are you going? Where'd you get your skirt? I want one.
Hot Topic?
Ooh, you should get me one.
No.
Well, I mean, like, get it and I'll pay you.
Okay.
What size is that?
2X.
How much is it?
35.
That might be too cheap, but we'll see. We'll talk. Anyway, sorry. So, what was I saying? Take a shot. Shit. I get so distracted. Whatever the thing is, they don't. I don't know. I completely lost my train of thought because I let myself get distracted by Bailey because I have ADD. Ugh. Which is just a number of things that are plaguing me. And yes, they've all been diagnosed by a doctor and the ADD by a neurologist. Like, this isn't something where I don't even take ADD medication. I could, but it dries the fuck out of my mouth. And I can't stand it. Because I already have a dry mouth. So anyway. But I do have ADD. Which is why I forget where I was at for a long time. Plus, I just worked a full day. But anyway, so I feel like I've been blackballed. Like, and she knew because my ex-work husband told her, hey, and I'm not mad that he told her because either way she would have found out because she would be the one looking at the resumes that, you know, hey, I'm thinking about applying for these jobs. One of the jobs was like under what I used to do. So it would be a level down. I'm fine with that. I do not care if it's a level down. I don't need to make the same amount of money that I did. Would it be nice? Yes. But like, it's more money than I would make on disability. I can promise you that. And I know the work, and I love the work, and I love the people that I work with. So fine, you know, and then I can worry about a raise later. But no, every single job I was passed over. There wasn't even a call. Nothing. It was like they did confirm, yes, we have your resume. We are combining it with a bunch of, you know, other resumes and blah, blah, blah. Because I do understand that, I mean, they don't have to, but it's common practice. Like, hey, we put the thing out there. Other people have applied. We have to at least call them. But it pisses me off knowing, that better not be a fucking spider. Okay. Knowing that some other person, okay, that knows nothing about my job, is in there doing my job. And I know it's because of this chronic illness. Before I left, I had never been written up. I've never been on PIP. I've never been on anything. I won a CEO award, which is just the CEO. People nominate you for being fantastic and blah, blah, blah. I won a CEO award, which is a big deal, and I'm proud of that. I have won other things. I've always had great performance reviews. I mean, is there always stuff I can work on and do better? Of course. Is there always stuff that anyone in this whole world can work on and do better? 100%. Yes. So there would be no reason not to hire me back. And so that tells me that I'm being blackballed. And that tells me that they're blackballing me because they know that I have a chronic illness. They have, it's kind of like, I don't know, what's the stock market thing when like, it's the thing that the homemaker, housekeeping lady with the blonde hair that talks very Martha Stewart? Yeah. Like, it's the thing she went to jail for, I think. Insider trading? Something like that. Where, like, so they have inside information that if I was a new hire, they wouldn't know, right? They wouldn't have the slightest clue. Just like the other company I the one I work for now, they had no clue, because you're not required to give your medical history when you're applying for jobs. And you're also legally not allowed to blackball somebody because they have a chronic illness. That's exactly what's happening, and they, nobody can prove it, but I know that's what's happening. And it's so hurtful, because it's like, you're already fucked, right? You're already living a life that no one would sign up to live in terms of chronic illness, right? Like, no one's going to want to be in pain 24/7 or not know when the next medical event is going to happen, which could be any minute, any day. I'm just so frustrated. And now I'm doing this job that I'm so grateful for. Like, I know that there are millions of people out there out of work, and I understand that. And so, if you're one of the ones watching this and you're out of work, believe me, I've been there. I know. I was out of work once, like 10 years ago, for 6 months. And then this last time, during COVID, I was out of work for a year, and it is absolutely terrifying. It's degrading. It makes you feel like shit. It makes you feel like a loser. Even though none of those things apply, like, obviously, you're not a piece of shit. You're not a loser. Like, you want to work. You didn't just quit. But it still makes you feel that way. At least it does me. And I know that those are some common feelings that other people that have been let go deal with, And unfortunately, I don't have an education. So that's not going to put me at the top of the stack. I'm older, so that's not going to put me at the top of the stack. And people say, oh, well, you can't, not hire people because of age. But when you are looking at a resume that's 3 pages long with 25 years of experience on it, you can pretty much figure out that you're dealing with an old person. I mean, not old, like 50 something is not old. I honestly think work-wise that I'm in my prime. Like, I don't have to stay home with sick kids anymore. I can be here 24/7. If it wasn't for the fact that I have a chronic illness. But they don't know that, going in. But it's like, I've never had a job where I had I've only had one job where I had a chronic illness. And that job I lost. And so I've never done sales with a chronic illness. And sales is a whole different animal. And it's real hard to do with a chronic illness. Because you're just churning out calls, and you have to have the energy, and you have to have the drive. And back in the day, man, when I did sales, like, when I first started, I'd never done it before. And when I first started, I took off like a rocket. Like, I was good at it. I was making top sales over guys that had been there forever. And, And that was just in customer service. And so they moved me into sales. And I remember one time my husband and I went to lunch, and my legs were just shaking, like that thing you do where you're like tapping your foot like, okay, I gotta go. And we had just gotten there. He's like, what are you doing? Stop. And I'm like, I gotta get back to work. I gotta get back on the phones. I want to make top sales. So you get very competitive. And they put like all the charts out where like everybody can see where the other person is, and like if the other person is close to beating you. And so if you work through every lunch, if you come in early and stay late, like, and if you work more than the other people, and if you're good at it, you're bound to make more sales, right? Which I did. But I can't do that anymore. Like, my hands, and this isn't even stuff that I've told Matt yet because I haven't thought about it, but like, my hands move slower because I have tremors. My hands move slower because my brain doesn't move as fast as it used to, and so I don't type as fast. I don't think as fast. I have sending email anxieties, especially in the first like 90 days at a job. When I'm sending an email, I will hover over that send button for like a full minute because I'm like, does it look good? Is it right? Like, I am an awesome writer. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just going to toot my own horn. I'm a great writer. Not like a novel writer, but like, can I write a very well written, well worded letter about something that I'm passionate about, or a very professional, detailed what's happening here? Is this new? Is this a new thing that we're adding to the list of horrible wrinkly things that are happening to my face? Yay. But like, I'm good at writing, and where was I going with that? Why was it imperative for me to tell you that I'm good at writing? I'm good at writing. I don't know. But when you're in sales, you pretty much have to be, and are expected to be, which is why they hire a lot of young bucks for sales, on point 24/7. There is no time for you to be sick and not in the office, because sales, there's an old adage, it's sales drives the bus, right? And that's what I told the HR lady. What is her name? Jennifer? We'll just call her Jennifer. And I told her, I was like, because I kind of understood what she was implying, and I kind of let her know that I understood what she was implying. That I understand that at the end of the day, this is business. They have to be successful. They can't, like, just let me have a free ride while the other guys work their asses off and are bringing in all these sales. Like, you're only as good as your weakest link, right? And so obviously I'm the weak link. And so I totally understand that this is business, and I don't take it personally, but I also don't care for my boss and HR, like, talking about me. I know they have to, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. You know what I did yesterday? My boss called me. We do these weekly things, which I also fucking dread, where we have to send him a call that we want his feedback on, like how we think we did on the call using this certain sales system. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. So I have to say what I think I did good and bad. Then he tells me what he thinks I did good and bad. And then we come up with opportunities and how I can change to be better and blah, blah, blah. And then he brings up my call volume. And then I just started crying because, which is so embarrassing. I cried in front of my Boston, like, East Coast. They're just harder over there. I'm not saying in a mean or bad way. Like, they're just, or that people down here in the South are weaker. I'm just saying, like, I don't think they're necessarily criers. You know, I'm sure some are, but you know what I mean. I just felt like that I could tell he got very uncomfortable with it, like, and plus a lot of men just do not like it when women cry. They just don't. And it makes them very uncomfortable. Mostly I think it's when their wives cry, but especially people like you don't know. I know that it made him uncomfortable, but I absolutely could not help it. My body and everything else, my mind and everything is still in recovery from the shit that it went through just last week and the week before, like the last 2 weeks. My body has been ravaged with some kind of disease, physical, nerve event on top of a severe respiratory infection. Like, my body's been through it, and of course the whole time I was worried, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna get fired. And it's not like I love this job. I don't. I can't stand this job. The people are lovely. I just, like, making 150 calls a day. Every day. But yet you also want me to sell. Well, in order to do that, I need to talk to people. And the way I talk to people is different than the way you might talk to people. You talk very fast. You're a little bit pushier. For me, because I hate that shit as a customer. First of all, I want to be able to understand what you're saying. Okay. Well, first of all, don't fucking call me if you're selling me shit. Do not call me, because I'm smart enough to know where to go to look if I want to buy something. Google, right? If I need something for my business and it's a certain kind of whatever, you go to Google. Okay, and then you look at the reviews and you do your research and you blah, blah, blah. I certainly don't need anybody calling me incessantly about their product. I don't mind. Listen, I don't answer my calls anyway, but it's a cell phone. But a business, they have to answer their phone. Now, some people have gotten smart. And there's things out there called RoboKiller or something else. And, it's not like the old days where it was just phone calls. Now there's just so much stuff. Like, I think today I actually made 107 calls, and I maybe spoke to like 10 people, you know. But and we've got guys that are making 172 calls in 8 hours. And then you go and you look at the calls, and they're like 0 duration, 0 minutes duration, 0 minutes duration. So they're not, are they dialing and hanging up, dialing and hanging up, dialing and hanging up? Like, there's something shady going on there. But whatever. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to resort to that. Every time I go to start a sales job, I always say, fuck it. I'm just going to do what they're doing. And I never do, because it just doesn't feel right. I want to be a good person that does a good job for my employer and for my customers. That's just who I am. And I've always been like that, even when I was young, but especially now that I'm more mature. Like, to me, honor is very important. It's very important, and it's been important to me ever since I was like, 16. I mean, before that, I don't really think I understood what honor was. But I think from about 16 on, like, I understood that is something very important. And basically what that means is, to me anyway, honor is having self pride, right? For, it's not, self-pride isn't, I have the best hair, I have the best Gucci bag, I have the best clothes, I dress nice every day, I wear makeup every day. Self-pride is, you have a high, what did I tell Kelly the other day? I have a high moral compass, right? I'm not perfect, but I don't want to do anything that causes harm to other people. I feel like you get what you give, and I just want to do the best job I can. So like when I work every single day, I'm giving the absolute best that I can give. I really am. I'm not Googling. I'm not reading shit on Yahoo. I'm not watching videos. The only thing I have going on is I will have podcasts on, but that's because for me, I need to hear something in the background, kind of like working in an office, because if I work in complete and total silence, I'm going to fall asleep at my desk, or I'll have an audiobook on, just something for a background noise, that it kind of makes me feel like there's someone else in the room with me. It keeps me engaged in terms of like, I don't know. I don't know. It just helps. And then of course I hit pause, when I'm calling. I don't know. Having a new job when you have a chronic illness is so incredibly hard, because nobody understands it. You're even more invisible because they can't see you, right? Like, or they see you in like your bi-weekly Zoom meetings, and well, you look fine, you're acting fine, you're talking fine, you're smiling. You know, people think that people with chronic illnesses are like, you know, and it's like simply not the case. Like, you know, we've come accustomed to hiding our pain. Obviously, if I was at a level of pain that I was with my shoulder, I wouldn't be on the call, which is why I was laying in bed screaming and wishing I would die. So, but I have to start, like, this is gonna sound so stupid. Oh my god, it's gonna sound so wimpy and dumb and just. So, we already had to do role plays, which, if I knew the product, if I felt confident, let's keep in mind I started mid-February. I did all of March. I did all of April. So I've been there 2.5 months. I had 1 week of treatment on a tiny phone because, remember, my internet didn't work because of Winter Storm 2020. Or was it 2021? It was 2021. So I didn't really see anything. But Matt kind of sees all of that as excuses. And whenever he is training me, he talks very fast. He'll be like, any questions? And I'll be like, perfect. And then he'll go on. And I'm like, I didn't have time to formulate questions because I don't know what the fuck you're saying because you're talking so fast. Like, and then I tell him, like, I'll tell him, like, well, you know, you talk real fast. He's like, yeah, we do everything fast here. I'm like, okay, well, I'm telling you, like, that's too fast for me. I'm from Texas. I don't know if you understand this, but people in Texas, we run at a slower pace. I would like to spend time training. But no, guess what? Now I get to walk him through something that I know nothing about, and it's not even my job. Like, I'm not even going to be doing it. It is an account executive's job. They're way ahead of me. The next level up from what I do is senior BDR. So I've got to get up there before I even get to the AE. Nor do I want to be an AE. Like, I want the less stress possible, because I know very well why these medical events in these past months or whatever have occurred because of stress. And I knew that would happen with a new job, because new jobs are just stressful anyway. But stress and my body, you know, my body turns it into World War III or II. I mean, I know there wasn't 3 world wars. I'm just saying, like, it would be World War III. You know what I mean? And it's like the first thing we had to do when we did role play. It was a little bit easier because I was reading off of a script, and it was just like, you're pretending you're on a phone call, and I was also doing it all throughout the day, like, so I got practice. But this is something that I don't know how to practice, and Matt is very intimidating. I don't want any of you to get the wrong idea. He's a very nice guy. I feel like if he and I were, if he was my manager, but if we worked on the same team in a building and we got to see each other every day, that we would be really good friends. But for whatever reason, more than any other manager I've ever had, he intimidates the absolute fuck out of me. And I think, number one, he talks super fast. And so I barely catch anything that he's saying. And I get the vibe that, like, when I ask a question, he is like inside, are you fucking stupid? Now, that's probably not the case, okay? As is with most things, when you think somebody's thinking a certain way about you, 99.9% of the time they're not. But I can tell he gets a little frustrated because he's like, we just went over this. And I'm like, you know this like the back of your hand. You used to work in hotels, one. So you know the customer side of it. And now you work here. So you know the other side of it. So, and you've been doing it for years. And so he is talking to me like he is talking to somebody else in the business that has also been doing this, has the same experience as him. And I'm like, and the guy that I trained with is in the same boat. He's like, I don't know what that, because I'll call him, I'll be like, dude, do you have any idea, like, what the fuck? He's like, I have no idea. I'm like, well, have you asked? He's like, nah. I don't, but again, he's like 23 and healthy, so he's not worried about it. But like, it's causing me so much anxiety thinking about this next role play, right? It's like next level role play. And I have no idea how to start it, where to start it. Like, I know I'm probably over analyzing it, over obsessing over it, which I tend to do. But for some reason, it makes me think of when me and, what did we decide to call the guy that sexually assaulted me for years when I was a kid? Shitface? Shithead? Fuckface? Fucknut? I don't know. One of those. It was a good one, though. It was like, let's just call him Fuckface. I don't know. I'll forget and find something else. But for now, his name is Fuckface. When I was young, I had a really hard time understanding a lot of stuff. Like, oh God, I don't know why this is making me cry. I guess just because my childhood sucked and it was such a hard time for me. I basically cried myself to sleep every night. And, yeah. So, and I'll share more. Like, there's so much more to the story, but, because, you know, my first dad plays into that pain. And even my third dad does, you know. So, but Fuckface, I was going through 4th grade at the time. And I always had issues. I never, like, it took me a long time to learn how to ride a bike, a long time to learn how to tie my shoes, a long time for me telling time. was so hard for me. I just could not understand the concept of it. And I remember Fuckface going over it with me and over it with me over and over again, and he could not understand why I wasn't getting it. And he said it was because I wasn't trying hard enough, or I didn't care, or I was being lazy. And I know so many of you out there have the same stories, especially if you're children of the 80s. Because that's when it was okay to verbally abuse your children. And forget that they were actually children, you know, instead of treating them like they're adults. But I felt stupid all the time. I always felt like I was just so dumb. Because telling time should be so easy. It's so easy. How can you not get it? How can you not be understanding this? And then the multiplication tables. I don't know how they do things now, but back in the 80s, that started in 4th grade. And like 1 through, I think, 10, I got it. Anything over that, I just was like, what? Like doing it in your head. I just was like, I never got it. I could not understand it. And you had to go like all the way up to 100 or something for this one test. And I remember, and then there was another one that was like geography, and it was the same kind of pressure, like all the capitals of all the states. And he would punish me if I did not get answers right. And I'm like, have you considered getting me a tutor, or finding out why I'm not getting these things that are so simple to other children? No. It's my fault because I'm being lazy and I don't care and I'm not applying myself. And I just need tough love. Another buzzword of the 80s. And so I remember spending a lot of my childhood feeling so stupid, unworthy, unlovable. And you know, these current issues, I think, bring back a lot of those feelings for me. Even though it's not my fault. And I know, like, now I'm old enough to know it's not my fault. Like, if you're in unbearable pain, that means you can't bear it. And so you shouldn't be working. If you are, like, when I got the upper respiratory thing, honestly, I think most of it was because I was so fatigued. Like, medication during the day, I've worked through colds, and like, as long as I have a cough medication that's really good, an expectorant, all of that, I can work. Because usually during the day, coughing isn't my biggest deal. That happens at night. But I was so exhausted from, first of all, being sick, having some kind of infection in my body. But my body hadn't even fully recovered from the other event because they were so stacked. And you know what I'm going to say. Where was I going with this? Take a shot. I don't know, man. I'm just frustrated. It's hard, you know. Oh, I talked to the, I think I may have already said this though. I talked to the HR lady and I told her, I was like, I mean, I'm in this body. I'm trapped in this body. There's nothing I can do. And although I appreciate her compassion, I guess, but like, what I wanted to hear, like, I heard a lot of like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that. I'm so sorry. To ask somebody, are you going to be able to perform your job duties? Like, it seems like it's hindering your ability to do your job duties. I was so, I couldn't even respond to that because I was just like, did you just say that to me? Like, I'm literally doing the best that I can. And, like, I just expected to hear, like, you know, we're going to work with you as much as we can because we clearly see, like, you made top sales in your first month. Okay? I beat all the other guys while I was sick. During the medical event, while I had missed 3 days, going to the emergency room, getting shots in my arm, working with one hand. Like, and not only does my boss not mention it, but I'm assuming she doesn't know. Maybe she does and doesn't care. But, like, my job is threatened. Like, I took that as a threat. I took that as a, well, let's see where we are in 2 weeks. To mean, you've got 2 weeks to get your shit together or you're fired. And then, so we were doing our thing. Matt, we had our one-on-one that we have every week. And he was like, at the end of it, he was like, okay, let's talk about your call volume, meaning the number of calls that I'm making. I finally, after like over 2 months, made it over the 100 mark, which is unacceptable. And I understand that because by the first day of my 3rd week, I was supposed to be hitting 150. And I've yet to hit that target. And even though he knows I talk to more people. And when I do talk to people, I talk longer. And even though he knows all of this, he still expects me to make 150 calls. I'm like, well, do you want quality and future sales? Or do you just want me to pick up the phone, dial, then hang up? Pick up the phone, dial, then hang up. Because I've looked, and I promise you, that's what some of your guys are doing. And I know he knows that. If he doesn't know it, he's not looking. And he should be, because that's his job. So, I started crying because I got frustrated. Which is so embarrassing. But I got frustrated because I'm literally doing the very best that I can. I can't do better than I'm doing. Like, I will make myself sicker. And I'm still going balls to the wall. Like, and it's you know, it's a matter of time. It's just a matter of time till my next flare. And I am now -5 days. I don't know if I told you guys this yesterday, but one of the things that frustrated me was that there was a day that I worked a full day, and I'm salary. So I worked a full day, Well, I went to a doctor. I think I did talk about this. And then I felt bad because I ended up only making 20 calls because I just couldn't stop coughing. And I told him, like, hey, I just want to let you know, you might just want to give me the whole 8 hours and just put it on PTO because I only made 19 calls because I'm sick and I was coughing. Like, I didn't just decide. I didn't go lay in bed and watch TV for a few hours, then get up and make a call, and then go back down to bed. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, but he did it. He took the 8 hours. So I now have 5 days of PTO, negative, okay? So that means no vacation for me. Not that I ever take one, but like no unsick paid days off. It's just, I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of it. So sick of it. And I don't know, like, I do believe in things happening for a reason. I don't know if I got this job to remind me how much I hate sales, but I already knew that. Like, I didn't need any reminders. I didn't need anybody to come and tell me, hey, here's a little reminder about how much you hate sales. I had no plans into ever going back into sales again because I absolutely despise it. And I despise it because I know the people that I'm calling despise it. They despise the phone calls. No matter how nice I am or pleasant to talk to, they fucking hate it. And I get it because I hate it. I hate calling and I hate being called. Like, don't fucking bother me. But I still do the very best job that I can do because, again, it goes back to honor. And I wouldn't be honoring myself if I was hired to do a job and then didn't do that job to the best of my ability, like the very best that I could. Because that's not fair. That makes me a liar then, you know, and a shyster, like a shady shyster person, because I conned you into hiring me, making you think that I was just going to be this awesome worker. And in reality, I'm just sitting back. You can't see me. I'm remote. I'm just sitting back, barely doing shit, you know, until you know, just waiting for you to fire me. To me, that's not honorable. And I just would never feel good about doing that. And I guess that's just another thing that pisses me off. It's like, I'm trying to be the absolute best person, earthling, human that I can be. And I just feel like I get fucked for it. And I'm not trying to say that I don't count my blessings. I count my blessings so much. Probably more than the average person, because that is what gets me through the fucking day. But I know people that have it way easier than me, and I have to say, I'm jealous as fuck. Like, can I just get a fucking break and just live my fucking life without any fucking issues? You know, like, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I don't even take... Well, part of the problem is, like, I'm not practicing self-care. You know, when I told Matt yesterday during our call, I was like, I'm not taking lunches. I'm not taking breaks. Like, yesterday I worked until 8 p.m. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I worked till 8 p.m. at night. Trying to get my call volume up. And I still didn't hit my number. And he's like, oh, we don't want you doing that. And I'm like, well, okay then. Well, if I don't do it, I'm not even going to get fucking close. You know, but I need to have those breaks mentally, emotionally, physically. I need to give myself that time to rest. And I am not. I'm just working 9 to 10 hours or more a day doing something I absolutely despise because my husband doesn't have a job right now. I have no idea if I would qualify for disability, how long it would take to get disability. I'm scared to even go down that process. Like, if I'm scared, if I get anxiety on trying to figure out how to use a vlogging camera, I sure as fuck have anxiety about how to figure out how to get on disability. And of course, I would get an attorney because I just don't have it in me to do it by myself. Like, 20-year-old Heather, sure. 50, almost 52-year-old Heather, I don't have the energy. Like, plus, just no. Especially if I'm working, no. But I don't know, man. I just needed to vent, and I wanted to wrap up. You know, I didn't finish yesterday. My phone cut me off. I went through and cleared out some storage today, so it should be okay. But, I don't know. If y'all pray or do the energy thing or whatever it is, good vibes, could you just send them my way? Because I am just in a really bad place right now. Like, personally, I'm in a great place because I have a family that I love. I can finally do activities at my mom's house again because they're both vaccinated and the other kids are vaccinated and all of that. So I am blessed that we got that back, and we're going to continue with that. And, you know, Mother's Day is coming up, and so I absolutely see the blessings that I have all around me. And I never want to take them for granted or have any of you think that I don't appreciate so much what I do have, because so many people in this world don't even have that, you know, and but I still need those prayers, those good energy, those good vibes. And when I say prayer, I'm just talking about good thoughts, good, you know, because I'm not religious. I don't believe in the Bible, and we can get into that whole thing on another video, because nobody other than my husband and my family knows. I mean, my daughter, but and my kids, but like nobody in my family knows that I guess I'm an agnostic, leaning towards atheism, but I don't think so. I don't think I'm leaning towards atheism, because for me, I believe in energy. I believe that there is something within us, within these shells. I just do. I have nothing to base that on. I can say with 100% certainty that I do not know that that is the case. I do not know that there's an afterlife. I do not know that there's a higher power. I do not know that there's a soul inside my body. I hope. Those are the things I hope for. I don't have faith in them because faith, it's a beautiful concept and it's a beautiful word and it's so many things, but it's just not a word I use because it just reminds me too much of religion. And my husband's the total opposite. Like, he is an Orthodox Christian, like deep in it, in the Orthodox Christianity. And I 100% support that. He's thinking about finding it. And this is somewhat new. It's like a year or more. I mean, he's always been a believer, but like he's gotten into it where like he's got tons of books on it now. And believe me when I tell you, the man never used to read. Okay, he just was not a reader, which is fine. I'm not judging. My son's not a reader. Some people aren't, and that's fine. And so we're obviously total opposite, but I absolutely 100% respect that for him, he does 100% believe. There are no doubts. Or if there are, he hasn't shared them with me. And it gives him something. It gives him peace, tranquility. And as long as there's something that's giving him a light, a way to just feel better about things and yourself and life in general, yes, 1,000 times yes. There's a new church that opened up that I offered to go with him to. He hasn't gone yet, but I will absolutely go with him because I want to support him. Like, I don't have to believe it to go. Like, it's just a building filled with people, right? So I can go and hold his hand and support him and be there with him and talk to him about the service and what he thought. And because I was raised in the just your basic Christian King James Bible Methodist faith, I know things in the Bible. I know, I'm not like a pastor that knows the Bible, but I know more that's in the Bible than I thought I knew. But we'll get into that another time. I just wanted to wrap up the video from yesterday and just share my frustration and just, speak to the other people out there in the world that have chronic illness and have to work full time. And like, I know the struggle. I understand the struggle. And I'm just so sorry that there's anybody out there that has to deal with that. It's so hard. It's so demeaning in some ways. It's like, it just takes me back, man. And it just makes me think that these people are thinking that I'm lazy or I'm not applying myself or if I just worked harder. And they don't see that I'm sitting at the desk. I'm dying. I'm in so much pain that I'm sobbing. I have my arm strapped to my chest and using one hand. And I'm exhausted from the pain. I mean, and they can't see it, and so they don't know. And so that they're envisioning something completely different, and it's it's just frustrating. It's saddening, and I wish I didn't have to work anymore. I'm blessed that I have a job. The medical insurance is phenomenal, but I can't use it because it would require me to take time off, and the more time I take off, the worse I'm gonna look, and the more susceptible I make myself to being fired. So, and I haven't been to the doctor in over a year. So, except for when I went to Rapid Med for my upper respiratory, and while I was there, I was like, I need you to check my TSH levels, which is my thyroid, because I hadn't gone to Dr. Shithead because my beautiful PA died, and Dr. Shithead is an asshole from hell that, fuck that guy. So I'm just going to use the local Rapid Med as my general practitioner till I find one. Guess who can't go find one right now? Me. Because I have to fucking work, and I can't take any time off. So, you know, but I need to go back. I need to find a neurologist. I need to go back to the rheumatologist. I would like to find an endocrinologist. I would like to find a, I can't remember what those doctors are called. I think it starts with a D. They're like DOs. They're like doctors that shit, I can't think of what they're called. But anyway, that's all I've got for you today, guys. I'm tired. It's 8:30, man. I'm gonna go in, lay like a log, watch something stupid on TV, go to sleep, wake up, and do it all over again. Yeah. Anyway, I can't think of any fun topics to talk about. I don't know if losing one's religion is interesting for people to watch, but I find it fascinating. I've been watching a lot of I don't know if there's a lot of like agnostic YouTubers out there that specifically talk about being agnostic, but that is what I consider myself. But I have been watching a lot of the atheist experience, because at the end of the day, like, they don't believe in a God, and I don't believe in the Bible, and they talk a lot about the Bible and how completely just ridiculous it is. And I'm telling you right now, if you love the Bible, if you believe in Jesus, if you love Jesus, if you are religious, no matter what, up here, up there, whatever, then no judgment. I am not judging you. But when I talk about my experience and when I talk about what I believe, a lot of it's going to sound harsh. Again, it's not directed at you, okay? It's just for me and how I think about it and how I formulated these thoughts. So I don't want you to take offense to it. Because none of it's directed at you. I'm just telling you my journey with that. So maybe that's what we'll talk about next time. Or I might have more crying over my job for you tomorrow. Who knows what the day holds? Exciting. Anyway, thanks for listening to me cry yet again. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the 71 subscribers we have now. Of course, every time I say that, I lose a subscriber, but what are you going to do? Oh, I'm so grainy. Ooh, this is terrible footage. What is this light? Does that make it better? I don't know if it makes it better. My phone is pretty shitty. I may never learn how to use the vlogging camera, and I think that's just something we're gonna have to get real with. Like, I got it. I had high hopes, but I don't know. I just need to do it, but my husband hasn't showed me how, so let's just blame it on him. Okay? Yeah, we'll blame it on him. Anyway, I will see you guys in another video. Until then, oh, I'm sorry that you had to hear that. It kept recording. Last time it did that to me where it was like, you're running out of storage. It just blocked me. So I'm going to shut the fuck up now. I'm going to say, I hope you have a beautiful night.